Walk into any motorcycle dealership in America right now, and you'll see something that should terrify you. Brand new 2023 models, still shrink-wrapped, gathering dust. But here's what you can't see. Finance departments bleeding $40,000 a month in interest payments on bikes nobody wants. That San Francisco dealership that's been there for 110 years, gone. The New York City Harley that survived 2008, closed at 75% off. Right now, 265,000 brand new motorcycles are sitting on lots worldwide. And what happens to them involves storage facilities you've never seen, auctions you're not invited to, and a financing trap that's crushing dealers right now. Here's the one number that explains everything. The numbers. At the peak of the crisis in late 2024, KTM had 265,000 motorcycles sitting unsold worldwide. That's an entire year of global sales. Imagine if Apple produced enough iPhones to supply the whole world for 12 months, and then nobody bought them. That's where KTM was. Even after a year of fire sales and restructuring, they're still sitting on over 147,000 bikes, more inventory than they expect to sell in the next 8 months. And it gets worse. Between January 2023 and October 2024, the excess inventory created a liquidity requirement of 440 million euros, not to build the bikes, not to ship them, just the financial pressure of having them sit there. 440 million euros in storage costs alone. The company's CEO, his position is now under threat. 500 employees were laid off. The company owes $3 billion to creditors, and every single day, more bikes come off the production line that probably shouldn't. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's KTM. They're a European brand, maybe they just screwed up their production numbers. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Harley-Davidson, the most American motorcycle brand in existence. They're closing dealerships that have been open for over a century. Dudley Perkins in San Francisco, 110 years, gone. New York City Harley, decades in Manhattan, closed at 75% off. In recent years, dozens of Harley dealerships have shut down. The US network has shrunk from around 1,400 dealers at its peak to just over 650 today, and it's still falling. But none of this explains why it's happening, why dealerships that have been profitable for decades are suddenly hemorrhaging money. Because there's something most people don't know about, a financial mechanism that's been standard practice in this industry for years, and it's about to crush everyone involved. The hidden trap. Here's what most people think happens when a dealer gets a new motorcycle. The manufacturer builds it, ships it to the dealer, puts it on the floor, and when someone buys it, everybody gets paid. That's not even close. Here's the truth that changes everything. Dealers are not retailers. They're leveraged warehouses. When you walk into a showroom and see 20, 30, maybe 50 motorcycles on display, the dealer hasn't paid for a single one of them. Here's how it actually works. The manufacturer ships the bike. A finance company pays the manufacturer immediately. Full price. The dealer now has the bike on their floor, but they don't own it. The finance company does. And every single day that bike sits there, the dealer is paying interest on it. It's called floor plan financing, standard across the entire power sports industry. Manufacturers usually give dealers 60 to 90 days where the interest is free. The idea is the bike sells within 3 months. Everybody gets their money, everything's fine. But when the bike doesn't sell, the interest starts, and it compounds daily. Right now, some dealers are paying $25,000 to $40,000 per month just in floor plan interest. Not rent, not utilities, not salaries, just interest on unsold inventory. But interest isn't even the real killer. It's something called curtailment. When a bike sits too long, usually 12 to 18 months, the bank doesn't just charge more interest. They force the dealer to start paying down the actual cost of the motorcycle out of pocket every month. To account for depreciation, that's when the cash flow completely dries up. And you can't just send the bikes back. You signed an agreement with the manufacturer. You committed to taking a certain number of units, refuse shipments, and they can terminate your dealership. So you're stuck. Taking bikes you know won't sell. Paying interest every day. Watching your margins disappear. George Gatto chairs the National Powersports Dealers Association's Harley-Davidson Dealer Council. His assessment of the current situation, they're not making any money. A new motorcycle loses 5% of its value the moment it's considered in stock. By year 2, it's lost 19 to 27%. You're paying interest on an asset that's actively losing value every single day. Now you're probably wondering, if it's this bad, what are dealers actually doing? How are they trying to get out from under this? Because they can't just keep paying interest forever. Eventually, something has to happen to those bikes. And what happens next, that's where things get really interesting. Before we get into that, I need to tell you about the remodel ultimatum. Remember that dealer I mentioned? George Gatto? Harley-Davidson sent him a document, 187 pages of requirements for renovating his dealership. They wanted him to tear out a second floor, add a new building, remove drop ceilings, redo all the plumbing, ductwork, and electrical systems. The estimate? $7 million for renovation. While his business was already bleeding money from unsold inventory, he told them it would bankrupt him. They didn't care. He eventually negotiated that 187-page document down to 10 pages, the $7 million price tag down to $400,000. But think about that for a second. The manufacturer, the company that's supposed to be his partner, was willing to force him into bankruptcy over showroom aesthetics, while he's sitting there paying interest on bikes they forced him to take. Now let's talk about what actually happens to those bikes. The liquidation hierarchy. When a motorcycle won't sell at retail, dealers have options, but every single one of them loses money. Here's the hierarchy. The order of desperation. First, they discount heavily. Right now, we're seeing 30 to 40% off MSRP. Not sales, desperation pricing. If that doesn't work, the dealer converts the bike to a demo. Put a few hundred miles on it, call it used, depreciate it differently. But they're still paying floor plan interest. When that fails, the bike goes to wholesale auction. National Power Sport Auctions, Mannheim specialty. The dealer takes a massive loss, maybe 60-70 cents on the dollar, but at least the interest stops. Some dealers sell bikes to their own staff at deep discounts, sometimes 50% off. It gets the bike off the floor plan without an auction. The dealer loses a fortune, but the manufacturer doesn't have to admit publicly that their bikes aren't selling. Manufacturers can buy bikes back or ship them to developing markets, but both are rare. It's admitting failure. Harley-Davidson did this in 2024. They cut dealer inventory from 68,000 units to 49,000. Nearly 20,000 bikes they had to eat the cost on. And then there's the option nobody talks about. The bike just sits in a warehouse, in a storage facility, on the back lot where customers can't see it. Model year changes don't matter anymore. It's not last year's bike, it's old inventory, dead stock. And it sits there, for years sometimes. Because at a certain point, the cost of liquidating it, the administrative work, the transportation, the auction fees, costs more than just letting it sit and claiming the loss on taxes. But here's something even darker. Not all unsold bikes ever make it to a showroom floor. When dealers run out of space, they don't uncrate them, they stack them. I talked to a logistics manager who described warehouses with crates stacked 4 high, some dating back to 2022. 3 years in a box, fork seals dried out, tires developing flat spots, batteries dead. But as long as they stay crated, dealers can list them as new inventory on balance sheets. There are entire lots filled with crated bikes that will never run right, not without thousands in reconditioning. George Gatto admitted something that most dealers won't say publicly. When I have a really great month, a lot of those sales came from my local competitors. I'm cannibalizing sales off my dealer friends based on price because there's too much inventory. Think about that. Dealers who used to cooperate, who used to support each other, are now in a death spiral competing on price. The only winner is the customer who's willing to wait for desperation pricing. And even that doesn't help the industry survive. The betrayal. While dealers struggle with floor plan interest, the manufacturers are undercutting them. George Gatto, Harley-Davidson's online sales were marking down merchandise 40 to 60% with free shipping. Why would you go into a dealership when you're getting half off online? The manufacturer was competing with its own dealer network and winning. The core customer base is aging out. The average Harley buyer is now in their mid-40s to around 50, depending on whose data you use. Every year, more riders stop riding than new riders start. Manufacturers kept producing at 2019 levels through 2023, assuming pandemic sales would continue. They didn't. Demand collapsed. Production didn't stop. The result? Dozens of iconic dealerships closed, the jobs lost, the local economies impacted, the riding culture built around those shops, all gone. What this means for you. So what does this mean if you're thinking about buying a motorcycle? First, understand that almost every bike on a dealer's showroom floor is negotiable, heavily negotiable. If it's a 2023 model in 2026, that dealer is paying interest daily. Start at 50% of asking price. Second, ask how long the bike's been in inventory. If it's been there more than 6 months, you have enormous leverage. Third, watch for liquidation signs. Everything must go. Sales and too good financing. They're preparing to close, not remodel. Get in before they shut down. Here's the massive risk with new old stock bikes. The warranty start date. Sometimes manufacturers activate the warranty early to count it as a sale for quarterly reports. You might buy a new 2023 bike in 2026 thinking you have 2 years of coverage, only to find the clock started 14 months ago. Before you sign, demand to see the in-service date in the dealer's computer. If that clock is running, walk away or demand another 20% off minimum. Fourth, used bike values are falling because dealers are flooding the market. You can get a 1-year-old bike with minimal miles for 60% of new price. But fifth, support dealers that treat you right. When you find a good shop, buy from them. Get service there. Because in 5 years, the only place to buy a motorcycle might be from a website. No test rides, no community, just a bike in a box. So what happens to unsold motorcycles? Some get discounted until someone bites, some go to auction, some get converted to demos, and some just sit in warehouses depreciating while someone pays interest, hoping this month will be different. At the peak of KTM's crisis, 265,000 motorcycles, 440 million euros in liquidity pressure. Harley's dealer network cut in half from its peak. The manufacturers overproduced. The financing model became a trap. The dealer network is collapsing. And the bikes? They're still sitting there, on lots you drive past every day, gathering dust while someone somewhere pays interest on them. Now you know what nobody wanted you to know. If this opened your eyes to what's really happening in the motorcycle industry, hit that like button. Share this with anyone who's thinking about buying a bike. They need to see this before they walk into a dealership. And if you want to see more investigations like this, subscribe. Because this crisis isn't over, not even close.